Hi, and welcome to Life Stretch. What we will be doing today is focusing on the neck area. So we will be doing some stretch work for the front of the neck, the sides of the neck, as well as the back of the neck. This can be done seated in a chair. This can be done seated on the floor. I'm actually going to sit on a yoga block just for comfort for myself, for demonstration purposes. So the first thing that I'm going to have you do is just simply close your eyes, and we're going to take just about 3 nice deep breaths in. So inhaling in and exhaling out. And again. And one more time. Now, throughout this next series, you are welcome to keep your eyes closed through portions of it. There will be portions where I will be directing eye movement specifically. So, what we're going to begin with is just an assessment of how the neck is feeling at this moment. So, what we're going to do are some movement tests. So, just gently, if you would, turn your head from one side slowly to the other. Really all you're doing now is noticing if you have equal rotation to both directions. Do you feel limitation going in one direction more than the other? Notice if when you're turning your head to the side, does the opposite shoulder come forward, which could be an indication of a little bit of restriction on the anterior or even the lateral portion of the neck. So now what we're going to do is a flexion and extension. So now I'm going to ask you to gently look down. Now on the extension portion, I do want you to be cautious here. Think more of lifting the chin towards the ceiling versus taking the back of the head towards your spine. And let's just do that one more time. Now what I'm going to have you do is draw a couple of circles for me. So what we're going to do is take the head down, take your ear towards one shoulder, and again as we go to the back, think again chin to ceiling versus back of the head towards the spine. Carefully carry the ear over to the other shoulder and then back through the center. We're going to go in that direction just one more time. And then let's reverse the directions. Being careful to not go to any position that causes you pain or discomfort. And then returning to the center. So what we're going to begin with is some anterior neck work. So what I'm going to have you do is locate your clavicle bone. So this is the bone that's most prominent right up here on the upper chest. If you have any difficulty finding it, you can lean forward and kind of elevate up the shoulder blades and you'll be able to locate that bone. What we're going to do is we're going to crisscross our hands and you're going to place some of your fingers gently above the clavicle bone. Now what I want you to do is just kind of have your hands kiss the skin and just allow the weight of your elbows to draw down. Try not to pull down on the skin. If the image of like some weighted balls hanging from your elbows assists you in this image, then use that. But think of the elbows just being heavy and your skin supporting the weight of your arms rather than your shoulders trying to hold the arms up. So what we're going to do is we're going to be isolating this tissue here underneath the hands and allowing for it to remain nice and still. And then what I'm going to have you do is just gently start to turn your head from side to side again. You're going to notice if with this skin being set in place, do you have any restriction in one direction or the other? Now return to the center. What I want you to do is take a breath in, and as you do that, let your shoulder blades lift up. And then as you exhale, just allow them to weight back down, keeping the hands firmly placed just gently against the skin. I know I said firmly, but again, we're just trying to not pull down on the skin. We're trying to press in and let the weight of the arms gently draw down on the skin. Let's take that breath in and elevate again. And then allow for that exhale. Now, what I'm going to have you do is turn the head back to one side and think of drawing a rainbow with the chin. We're gently going to draw up. Make this small initially. As you get to one side, go ahead and allow for a gentle draw down through the center. Come back up. Turn to that same side again, arcing like a rainbow. Drawing down to the center and then looking back up. We're going to go 2 more times. You can start to allow for this circle to become larger. And 1 more time. What I'm going to incorporate into that is the eyes. So we're still turning in the same direction, but now as the chin goes up, I want the eye gaze to lift. So you're drawing the rainbow with both the chin and the eye gaze. Now we're going to incorporate the jaw into that. So turning to the same side, as you start to draw up, if there's any area where you notice a little bit of restriction, and I personally have found a little here, I'm going to open my mouth and draw the jaw down and back up. I can do this in any area. And then returning all the way back down and back to the center. And now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that series on the other side. So I'm still in my, what I call my bat wing hold, gently drawing down on the skin. So starting off by just turning in the other direction. Small rainbow arc. Returning back up. Turning to the side, arcing up. Now we're going to add the eye gaze. So turning, chin draws the rainbow arc, as do the eyes. One more time. And now adding the jaw. So I want you to locate any area you want to focus on. Pausing there, allow for a gentle opening and closing of the jaw. No rush. And then returning back to the center. And we're going to allow the arms to relax down. We're just going to go back and do a quick little assessment, rotating side to side. Revisit the arc. Draw the circle down. Take that in both directions a couple of times. And then we're going to return back to center. And now what we're going to do is move to the side of the neck, to the lateral neck area. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is we're going to assess, think ear to shoulder. So we're opening up the opposite side. Now, instead of lifting back out of this, what you're going to do is draw down through the center and return. So we'll come out of our stretches a different pathway than we went in. Let's do that one more time and just pay attention. Do you feel any more restriction on one side than the other? Or is just your sense of the motion different on one side to the other? There's no right or wrong with it. It's just your personal experience. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our arms and we're just going to allow it to drape over the head. And I'm just gently kind of pressing into or matching the height of my ear. So what I'm going to do here is, again, I'm going to allow the weight of that elbow to think of drawing my head down to the side. So I'm not pulling on my head, I'm just allowing my head to drop and the weight of the elbow to be the weight against my head. I'm going to let my opposite arm drop down now, and I'm just going to shrug this arm up and down. One benefit to sitting on the yoga block is I'm not hindered by the floor here. I could take that shoulder blade into a little bit more of a depression to increase that stretch sensation. Now, remaining on this side, I'm going to bring my arm back. I'm just going to rock my body over in the direction of that arm and back. And you can rock completely from side to side with this. But as I rock, I'm kind of like a teapot pouring out and returning. And you can get as much of your body involved in this as you would like. Now I'm going to return back to vertical with my spine. My head is still to the side. And I'm going to look down, thinking nose to armpit. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm also thinking of making my neck long, as if I could reach out of that opposite shoulder blade. And I'm going to gently rotate back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn gently up towards the ceiling. So I'm kind of doing a diagonal rotation with my neck here. So nose towards armpit. Feel free to involve more of the body. You can rotate your spine as well, especially on this back. And I'm going to do one more. Allowing my eye gaze to look back as well. This time when I come back down through the center, I'm going to allow my ear to come back towards my shoulder, and I'm just going to let the weight of that arm drop down. And once again, I'm going to roll through the center to return back up to the top. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that to the other side. So I'm bringing my arm up, just letting the weight of my arm drop on top of my head, making contact with that opposite ear. And again, lifting and just allowing my head to drop, the weight of my arm assisting, just providing a little more external resistance. Weighted elbow to the floor. I'm going to shrug the shoulder. And if you're not sitting on a prop here, just meeting the floor is fine. If you are sitting on a chair at your home office now, you can let that arm reach below the height of the chair. And we'll just do that one more time. And then we're going to incorporate the body rock side to side. So I'm going to tip over and then back. Again, feel free to put as much of your body into this as you would like. Side to side. I don't know if you can hear those sirens, but it is the first Wednesday of the month, 12 o'clock. They're going off. And one more rock side to side. And then returning back to the center, and we're taking that nose to armpit, rotating down, turning up to the ceiling, letting my eye gaze lead me. You do not have to move quickly through this, especially if you find an area you want to spend a little more time in. You can make smaller passes to do a more frequent pass through on any particular area. We'll go 2 more times. And then last one. And then just like before, I'm going to return back to the side, ear to shoulder. I'm going to let the weight of that arm come down and gently circle the head around and back up. And again, we can take another assessment. And then the final series here we're going to do is for the posterior neck. I'm going to turn around just briefly so that you can see the hand grip that I will be using. So what you are going to do is you're going to interlace your fingers, and you are going to find the back of the neck, and I want you to think of scooping into the tissue and picking up on the base of the skull here. So you're supporting the head. Okay, so I'm going to turn back around. So this is a brief series here. So interlacing the fingers, scooping the back of the neck. So I'm holding it up. So what we're going to do is think of your elbows drawing up. Breathe in, lifting the chest. The head is supported here by your hands. The elbows can open out here if that feels appropriate in your body. Now as I come back out, I'm going to bring the elbows back in, lift the head back up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, kind of like a body wave, we're going to roll ourselves down. There's no right or wrong here. Now I'm going to return back up to the center, elbows pointing forward, and once again I'm lifting out of my sacrum. Think of picking up from where you're sitting, open wide, elbows forward, oscillate down. And you can go as far down with this as you'd like. Little technical issue there with my microphone. Coming back up to the center. And one more time. Lifting up, arcing back, elbows forward, and then oscillating down. And then drawing yourself back up, allowing for the arms to return down. So let's end where we began, and let's do another assessment. Just allow the head to turn from one side to the other. Drawing your rainbows, circling down, taking that in both directions. It's always nice to get a before and after picture, and then returning back to center. Okay, so that was a little bit of extra time on the life stretch, the fascial work, the home stretch series for the neck. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we will have other videos for the shoulders, for the hips, and then there will also be a comprehensive video that will put all of this into a 1 hour long class series. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at bodypotentialtraining@gmail.com. Thanks so much.